As the summer progresses, most of the grasses and many of the flowers are going to seed. And orthopterans, such as this red-legged locust, are becoming plentiful. Red-legged locusts feed on a variety of plants, including farm crops and garden plants, but are typically not abundant enough to create any real damage. However, they are a popular snack for game birds, such as turkeys and quail and chickens, and they are known to carry and transmit the poultry tapeworm. Tree crickets are seldom seen, but their nocturnal trills can readily be heard. In reference to the tree cricket, Nathaniel Hawthorne once wrote, "If moonlight could be heard, it would sound like that." And the bush katydids are also masters of camouflage. And like all other orthopterans, they can be recognized by their unique song. The bush katydid songs are back-to-back, rapid, harsh trills with varying time intervals in between. The great spangled fritillaries are still prevalent, although they're mostly females at this point. Females can be distinguished from males by their darker shades. Furthermore, the males die shortly after mating in June and July. Females stay alive longer, maybe even until September, in order to lay their eggs near violets. This one is probably approaching her death, as indicated by the deteriorating wings. Viceroys are also a common butterfly around here. Although not closely related, they resemble the monarch butterfly. Predators know that eating a monarch can make them sick, and so they avoid the similar-looking viceroy. The two can be distinguished because the viceroy has a line that intersects the wings. Monarchs lack this line. Monarchs also have a more graceful flight, with more powerful wing beats and long glides. The viceroy's wing beats are more frenetic and interspersed with brief glides. The second generation of pearl crescents can still be found in every field, and there are still a few lingering wood nymphs. And I have found a couple of juvenile stink bugs this week. And milkweed bugs seem to be mating again. And this beauty is the locust borer. And we found some interesting spiders this week, such as this orchard spider, as well as this crab spider stalking ants on a Queen Anne's lace. It was a close call for the ants, and unintendedly, I believe my presence caused the spider to move elsewhere. And I caught a glimpse of this female spinning her egg sac. And many spiders have multiple kinds of silk. This one is probably lining the eggs with a soft, elastic silk, and then putting a harder, more durable silk on the outside to protect it. Here is her spinning in slow motion. At the tip of her abdomen, that just barely visible bump is her spinnerets. Inside of her abdomen is a reservoir of liquid proteins. As the protein soup flows through the spigot-like spinnerets and comes into contact with the air, it instantly solidifies, thereby blocking up the flow. She pulls on the silken line, causing the liquid silk to be ejected until she ceases to pull. Even after about 2 hours from when I first laid eyes on her, she was still spinning like crazy. With the recent rains, the ponds are full and the wetlands are thriving. Turtlehead, a water-loving flower, is found all over the sanctuary now. And the streams are full enough again to support crayfish. And green herons can be found hiding in the willows. Until they decide to fly away, that is. Mallards can be seen resting on the shore banks every afternoon, and recently some wood ducks started showing up. These are all juvenile males. They have the same facial markings as the adults, but they are not quite as colorful. Wood ducks are one of the conservation success stories. They were once abundant, but then by the beginning of the 20th century, they were almost extinct due to habitat loss and overhunting. When the Migratory Bird Treaty Act was enacted in 1918, prohibiting the hunting of migratory birds, wood duck populations slowly started to rebound. Then, with the conservation movements of the 1960s, their wetland habitat was protected. Furthermore, many people and organizations put up wood duck nesting boxes that they readily took to. And now, this is no longer a species of concern. And there is still a pair of sharp-shinned hawks controlling the territory around the beaver pond. Though they do not seem very intimidating while swatting flies. And well within this territory, there are plenty of prey items such as song sparrows, as well as common yellowthroats, and these days, even the occasional migrant. And although not uncommon, my favorite may be the ruby-throated hummingbird.
Well, that didn't sound like who the heck was that?
The forest floor is wet enough again to support mosses, such as this purple moss, also known as fire moss, and the delicate fern moss. And while observing this delicate fern moss, I noticed a pair of millipedes mating. And I noticed a new batch of Phallus liverwort, which looks very healthy right now. And I made an exciting new discovery of whatever this is. I believe it may be a brown algae of some sort, but I do not know for sure. It could also be a lichen or a bryophyte for all I know. And many more mushrooms have appeared, such as these buttery colubias, which started out helmet-shaped and then the next day flattened out. Here are some hairy black cups, and these tiny little mushrooms, the pinwheel marasmius, seemed ubiquitous for a couple days and then disappeared again. Some of the mushrooms I encountered, I was having difficulty narrowing down to a species level, but I think I got the genus of a lot of them, such as this Myocena. But then, the majority of the mushrooms I found, I could not identify at all. I browsed through my guides and tried, but eventually I ran out of time and had to give up for now. Perhaps later this winter I'll go back and look at these pictures and try again. And that ends another great week at the sanctuary.